Yo, what is up guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video where we are going to be running the Anti-carbink team. I don't know if you guys are seeing a lot of carbink in the Great League Remix meta or the Open Great League, but we designed this team as all three Pokemon are really solid against carbink, which is the #1 ranked Pokemon now in the Great League. And it's just so bulky. It's, I think, about halfway between Umbreon and Bastiodon's bulk. So it's bulkier than Umbreon, which is absurd. Not quite as bulky as Bastiodon, but still extremely bulky. And we decided to run this team featuring Chesnaught, which does really well against carbink, Empoleon in the back, which does really well against carbink, and Toxapex, which does actually beat carbink, surprisingly. Because remember, those poison jabs are actually going to hit for neutral because of the rock and fairy dual typing of carbink. So that's kind of the thought process of this team. Is it's really good against carbink if we see it. How many times have I said carbink already? Probably like 6 or 7. And then it's also just got nice coverage for each other with this team. Chesnaught weak to fire, weak to flying. Toxapex and Empoleon both good against fire types, and Empoleon good against those flying types. So a little bit of ABB action, grass double water, and we got a nice win in that first battle, leading against the Blastoise, which is an amazing lead because all three of our Pokemon can hang with Blastoise. This lead a little bit tougher. Shiny Scizor. I'm gonna overfarm here. I throw one short of double superpower, thinking he might CMP me on the double. He actually throws Iron Head right as he got it. Luckily, we make the correct shield call. I go for the superpower. It gets shielded. He goes into Toxapex, and I go Empoleon. This is a little bit awkward because although this is a good matchup for Empoleon, double resisting those poison jabs, I do want to keep my Empoleon around for that Scizor. That Scizor could cause some issues against my remaining Pokemon, but both of them still have play against Scizor. Another Brine is going to be coming through, not doing too much. Our Emperor Penguin trying to get rid of the Toxic Pest. We're also running a Toxic Pest, so we can't hate on it too much. I store some energy and actually aggressively swap into Toxapex, and my opponent goes Lickitung. Now, if my opponent had gone Scizor, I think this would have been a little more uncomfortable. But they go Lickitung. And because I have this head start, I think this is a little bit beneficial for me. I land the Sludge Wave. Lickitung's going to outpace us to the next move. And I have to make a decision which move I want to go for. Brine isn't going to be enough to knock out. So I just go for the Sludge Wave right away. Nothing fancy. Want to either pressure the shield or knock it out, and we knock it out. What's going to come in? It's Scizor. I aggressively swap. Don't want to give Scizor a big farm, and I throw my Hydro immediately. This is going to draw the final Protect Shield, and this is awkward, man. This is awkward. I let it go. I figure if I shield, I probably just get outpaced to the next Night Slash, so it's like, what the heck do I come in with now? I come in with Chesnaught. He catches the superpower, but I knew this was likely from him. He kind of has to catch it. And now I'm like, where the heck do I spend my last shield? I decide to let this go through. I can't quite swap out, and that's bad. It gives Scizor 2 extra bullet punches. I get denied because of one turn lag. That seems to happen a lot lately. But is there any way I can still outpace? And I get to the Brine right before Scizor gets to another Night Slash. That is a GG with a bit of an awkward lead of that Scizor. Able to dance around a little bit. Our opponent might have been able to win if he overfarmed a little bit more. However, Toxapex may have lived a Night Slash. It still had a little chunk of health, so Night Slash would have been really close, whether it would have KO'd or not. Next battle. Who we got? Who's going to take us on? WP Engineer. I recognize that name. Common Double is the lead. This is, I would say, slightly favorable for Chesnaught since I threatened that superpower. I think he gave me a free Vine Whip there, which is nice. Body Slam, Chunks. Don't think we're quite in Body Slam range. Think we would live one from this health. He lets it go. He catches on Cresselia. But actually, this is fine because this will help shore up the Empoleon matchup. Cresselia actually beats Empoleon in the one shield scenario, I believe, because Grass Knot does almost half, and the Psycho Cuts add up. So I throw right here before Cresselia can get to another one. Cresselia gonna throw another Grass Knot. At this point, I'm like, both my back Pokemon can fare okay against double. So I decided to no shield, and I get to a second Hydro. This is pretty massive. Now I'm up a shield. I keep my alignment, and it's a Carbink in the back. This is terrific. So I just come in here with Chesnaught, go for my Frenzy Plant. Nothing too fancy. I grab the final Protect Shield. In comes the Bull, and I'm just like, you know what? Toxapex can just clean up here. Body Slam knocks out Chesnaught, but Double doesn't even get to another move. And up 2 shields, this is a really comfortable position for Toxapex. Once again, with those new Pokemon, sometimes it throws your typing knowledge for a loop. Like, I consider myself someone that knows every typing, what it's vulnerable to, what it's super effective against. But I remember the first time I had the Toxapex versus Carbink matchup, I'm like, oh, this is bad. And then I'm like, oh, wait, this isn't that bad. Because I'm dealing neutral poison jabs. And my immediate reaction was like poison against rock, but it's also poison against fairy. So Toxapex does pretty decent against Carbink, which makes this a really good anti-Carbink team. Let me know in the comments. Number 1, are you guys using Carbink yourselves, or are you seeing many of them in the Go Battle League? I saw probably like 5 in the entirety of my GBL sets today, so about 1 on average per set. So they're not like everywhere, but they're definitely common for me. But I also had someone tell me they didn't see a single Carbink in all their sets, so I think it depends on the ELO range maybe. Tough lead into Cress, and oh no, it's Confusion Cress. This is not good. This is a core breaker. Confusion is a big core breaker for our team, but we're going to try and fight our way out of this. They swap into Diggersby, and I think this is pretty smart of them, to be honest, because they get us into Earthquake range. Toxapex is, with the Confusion damage, I mean, Toxapex is so tanky, it can live Earthquake with enough health, where I think they have to Earthquake again. They can't Earthquake farm, but after all that Confusion chip damage, it's a pretty good situation for our opponent, because he's going to be able to chip here. I could have like taken another and then farmed down. I decided to go for the superpower to get rid of it. Not sure that was the right play. I swap Empoleon and it's a double, and this is not good. This is not good, ladies and gentlemen. If all shields were down, like maybe we would have had a chance here. Well, no, because you're going to see the move that gets revealed here by the sheep. It is Wild Charge, and he doesn't fall for the CMP. So in addition to our opponent just kind of hard countering us, also makes some nice reads. I shield here, probably had to let that go to give myself a chance. Let's see how healthy the Crest was. Like, let's say I sacked Empoleon, I farmed down. Crest wasn't in Frenzy range, so there's no way. Plus, it had the Moonblast already, so don't think it really would have mattered. Because I think if I let Emp go, I probably would have had to expend 1 shield on Chesnaught anyway. Next opponent, tough lead. We swapped Toxapex. We're met by an S-Cavalier, and what was funny is someone in the chat, literally, as I like queued into this game, was like, what's a tough core breaker for your team? And I was like, I don't know, maybe like Tokudamaru. And what do you know? We see an S-Cavalier, which is a massive core breaker to our team here. Live the drill run. Our opponent smartly goes back-to-back here. Debating whether I wanted to shield. I do decide to shield to get a shield back from him. And then check out what happens here. This is kind of brutal. I could have thrown the brine here, but our opponent doesn't throw right away. And this is going to be a Mega Horn, most likely, which is going to hurt. And then I knew this was coming. And this is just kind of funny to me. Like, yeah, you caught the superpower, but like, if you had just swapped Mantine right away, I never would have reached a move to begin with. So sometimes people like go for the catch. I don't know if it's like a flex or maybe he felt like that was the right play. But in my opinion, like if you just swap Mantine, you get the farm down. And I never get to the superpower anyway. So like, all right, dude, flex the catch on me, but you technically just took an unnecessary charge move. Because like imagine if I hadn't gotten the superpower off. This thing would have been a lot healthier and would have probably got at least another Bubble Beam here against me. But our opponent's in a pretty commanding position. I throw my Hydro because I know S-Cav is going to reach a drill run. So this way I force a shield if he wants to get it off. He lets it go. And it's Vic in the back. Just, dude, triple hard countered. Oh my goodness. Triple countered, bro. And, that was kind of a theme. I felt like this team... I felt like my sets went pretty well today, but there were a ton of games that I just got, like, triple hard countered, and that's going to happen sometimes. But the cool thing is we actually went 14-11 on the day when I felt like almost all of our losses were, like, triple hard countered. All of our losses were... we had no win condition whatsoever. Which is, like, annoying. But it also speaks to, I think, the strength of this team. Where people had to hard counter us to beat us. And there were some bad leads we were able to overcome. I think we overcame a few Cresselia leads. Because that was, like, the most common lead we saw. When it's Psycho Cut Cresselia and it doesn't have Future Sight, Toxapex does pretty fine there. Because they have to settle for their non-stab Grass Knot. Opponent stays in here with Gliscopod. I live the X-Scissor, and he either is going to have to go down both shields, but he doesn't. He actually goes down a shield and loses switch, so pretty tough for our opponent. Shiny Cofagrigus. Very cool looking. He had a 1 Shadow Claw head start, so I'm just making sure I stay on point with my counting here. Gonna throw on an odd number of waterfalls for proper timing. Our Penguin looking fierce. Grabs the final shield. And the fact that he's just like staying in is like, I'm gonna shield, protect my Empoleon. Make sure I throw before he gets to another move. And this will obviously KO from this range. What's going to be in the back? It's a Carbink. And Carbink has nowhere to go. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, Mr. Carbink. With how bulky Carbink is, you would think it's like bigger. It's small. When I saw this thing's stats, how it was like almost as bulky as Bastiodon, I thought it was going to be like a big fella. He's a little guy. Anyway. Queuing to the next one. Yeah, our opponent probably should have, like, double-shielded Gliscopod to have a chance there. Because then I would have probably come in with, like, Toxapex, and then he could have pivoted. But I think you'd be in a tough spot no matter what, actually. Cofagrigus. Decent matchup for our Chesnaught here. We're going to outpace to the Frenzies. So we should always win... even well, not necessarily actually, because Shadow Ball kind of threatens to knock us out, whereas Coffin's a little bit bulkier, can tank the Frenzy Plant. I overfarm, throw on charge move priority. Will the Cofagrigus commit a shield? It will. So I'm going to be willing to go down a shield here to preserve switch advantage. Plus I have some energy on my Chesnaught. He goes in Drapion, so he should be at 4 poison stings, which is concerning. Because I need to get there in 5 waterfalls. So he did 4 and then 4. Oh, wait a sec. Did he mess up here? Did he go 1 too many? Wait, I'm sorry. Out of my own curiosity, I want to see what happened here. Did he get denied? What happened? So this was CMP. He swaps here. Because he should have outpaced, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Our opponent messed up. Our opponent messed up. 5, 6, 7, 8. He's 2 stings away. I'm 2 waterfalls away. So he should get to this if he throws it right away. Oh, he probably thought, you know what? He probably thought he wins CMP. He probably thought he wins CMP, but nah. Nah, dog. Empoleon's got a high attack, brother. And look at this. It's the Oranguru in the back. I love Oranguru. He's so funny. I say this from time to time, but I love Pokemon that are literally just like animals. He's literally just an orangutan. Or like Seal is literally just a seal. Dugong. There's an some people don't know this every time I mention it. A dugong is an actual animal. It's like kind of like a manatee. Some people don't know that. Every time I mention it on the channel, someone's like, "What? Really?" Mr. Chesnaught just 1 away from the superpower. And we're going to knock out the Oranguru. So he had a bit of a core breaker in the back, but luckily, the way the game played out, it wasn't too much of a threat to our team. That is a G to the G. And Empoleon was really good against that guy's team. Empoleon really strong against that back line. Next battle. Here we go, Joe. Here we go, Joe. Who we got? By the way, I hate to be critical of Niantic to go Battle League, but it's been kind of funky lately. Not only did I air out so many times today of my battles, like it took several minutes to like re-queue to find a match. Also, the 1-turn lag has been horrendous. Like almost every time I have a Pokemon faint and I have to come in and enter with a new Pokemon, I lag a turn. So TD, terrific battler. We get a great lead. I'm excited here. In comes Lurantis. Bit awkward, so I decide to superpower and then dip into Toxapex. Perhaps the smarter play would have been just directly Toxapex. So I'm feeling pretty good. My concern here is like Jelly, of course, is going to be able to overfarm here because it's not threatened by any of my moves. So Jelly's going to be able to overfarm quite a bit and then come out with like a Shadow Ball almost. I'm kind of just committing to the Sludge Wave. If he wants to throw earlier, that's fine with me. I think he overfarmed by 3, so he's 2 off the next Shadow Ball. But this is still looking pretty good, right? We got our alignment. Here is where things go south. I shield up the Shadow Ball. Now I'm down a shield. And there's a Jump Bluff in the back. And Jump Bluff beats both of our remaining Pokemon. At least I would presume it beats Empoleon even shields. Because it outpaces and it can take a Drill Peck. And we're down a shield, so this is just game over, to be honest. The only reason I haven't top left it at this point, to be honest, is like hoping he makes a mistake and maybe lets a Drill Peck land, which could put it into like superpower range or something. But yeah, SoTD's a terrific battler. Not going to let that happen. And once he shields the Drill Peck, I just top left because I just get outpaced. I get knocked out, and then poor little Chesnaught completely walled. So those are the most frustrating games, right? Where like you have a good lead, decent counter swap, and then the back Pokemon just totally core breaks your remaining 2 Pokemon. Those are always tough. When you think you're in a great spot, and then I lose. Diggersby lead, safe swap into Charm Granbull. I know I can live a crunch, so I decided to just let this go through. I'm gonna farm all the way down. All the way down. This way I've got some brine energy for this Diggersby. Make things less comfortable for our opponent, right? If I was to throw a brine at Granbull, like, I wouldn't be able to chip this Diggersby, and because of all this energy I have, I can overfarm here, land another brine, and Diggersby's gonna have to expend an Earthquake, believe it or not, to get rid of me. Still not in Fire Punch range. I'm almost at another brine. Definitely gonna let this go, knowing that he has to Earthquake to KO. And I think chat was very suspicious that this was double charm at this point. We come in Chesnaught. In comes Wigglytuff. We swap, and we're in a pretty good spot here. Empoleon's definitely on the glassy side. So, these charms are chunking about the same percent damage as the waterfalls. If you're wondering why I drill pecked, I don't know. I just felt like it. I felt like we were in a pretty commanding position, so I'm just going for drill pecks kind of out of trolling spirit. Gonna shield up Disarming Voice, most likely. Wigglytuff recently got that move, so it's a little bit faster than its other moves. And at this point, I'm like, it's so low. I can just let this go, Vine Whip down, come out with a move for Mr. Diggersby. Frenzy, Superpower, either's fine. Superpower, you guys might forget, is like a really strong move. For only 40 energy, Superpower is a hard-hitting move. It just debuffs both of your attack and defense one stage. But yeah, I guess I might as well have frenzied there. It didn't really matter. Next battle. I think this is the last battle of the video. So make sure to click that like button if you guys enjoy this team. The Anti-carbink team. If Carbink is ruining your life. That's a bit of an exaggeration. Sorry. If Carbink is making things difficult for you in the Go Battle League, try out this team. Oh, crap, dude. And if you guys want to just see horrible, horrible game, this is the one for you. Rise. You guys can't really say that I only post wins. I see that criticism of like certain content creators, they only post wins. I don't have a problem with people like only post wins because they want to showcase their own great plays, right? They want to showcase teams that have been working for them. So they're not going to oftentimes show you like an 05 set. But I'm definitely not going to edit out the tough losses. I am going to typically show you teams that have been working for me. I think those are more fun. Teams that can help you climb elo. But yeah, this game is really rough, as you're going to see. I hard swapped Empoleon because my Toxapex kept getting hard countered by Mud Boys, and what do you know? The strat did not work. If I had swapped Toxapex, Whiscash likely would have been the counter, and it would have been the same result. I don't know. Maybe if I swap Tox, like, I can get a big Vine Whip down, land a friend. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it would have mattered. Probably my only win condition this game would have been, like, I swap Tox, and he mistakenly swaps the Pharaoh instead of the Whiscash. Because I think Tox might be able to flip that matchup if, like, you land a Sludge. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there's no way I flip that, but... yeah, this is, about as hard counter as you could possibly get. And sometimes those games happen, and we had a lot of those games. So it was a really weird day because we went 14-11, but like most of our losses were just so hard counter destroyed. It was like a weird day. It felt like we were getting destroyed at times, but it was like, in the end, there's really no difference between losing a game by 1 HP in a neutral matchup or losing a game in completely dominant fashion by hard counters. So it was a weird day, 14-11, but like the losses were so hard countery. So we'll try and figure out a new team tomorrow on stream. I am approaching legend rank. I'm in the 2900s, so if you guys want to potentially see me hit legend live on stream, make sure to go follow me on Twitch, link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, once again, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, comment down below. Tell your friends to follow, subscribe to the channel. Tell your friend Mary to go follow. And all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.